A VPN, short for Virtual Private Network, is a privacy protection tool that is quickly becoming a must-have. But why do you need a VPN, and how does it work in the first place? A VPN helps your data travel through the internet safely, without big companies or cybercriminals being able to spy on your online activities. Also, a VPN swaps the real location of your device with a new one. This way, you can virtually travel to any country around the globe. So, who can benefit from a VPN? If you're worried about your online privacy, a VPN makes sure your identity and private information are not exposed when you go online. If digital security is your top priority, a VPN gives a nice additional layer of security. It encrypts your data so nobody could see what you send and receive. If you are a human rights activist whose freedom of speech is restricted, a VPN helps you to bypass censorship and speak to the world. Or, if you're on holiday in another country, with a VPN, you can bring your home entertainment anywhere you go. Here's a pro tip: check out Surfshark VPN. It has everything you need in a premium VPN, awesome speeds, and industry-leading protection that covers all of your devices. All you have to do is click connect. Secure your digital life and enjoy everything good that the internet has to offer with a VPN you can trust.
Click link in the description and get 81% discount for your first order. Sanding the wood. Anding the wood. Sanding the wood. Wood. Ding the wood. Lending the wood. Sanding the wood. Cover your work area. Before sanding, cover the floor or other surface that your wooden object is placed on to protect it from dust and staining. Lay out plastic sheeting on ground or surface area. Tape down the edges with masking tape to keep it in place. Sand the wood with 80 grit sandpaper. Use small, circular motions to gradually buff away any visible flaws or marks. Be sure to cover the entire surface of the wood evenly. To make the process easier and faster, purchase a sanding block from your local hardware store. To sand the difficult-to-reach corners of a wooden object, attach sandpaper to the end of a flexible putty knife. Remove sanding dust from the wood before applying the oil finish. For a quick and easy cleanup, use a handheld vacuum to suck up dust. You can also use a brush or can of compressed air to push dust away from the surface of the wood. Applying Danish oil with the wet-on-wet method. Put on an initial coat of Danish oil. After sanding the wood, apply Danish oil to a clean, lint-free cloth. Generously apply the oil to the wood in broad strokes, reapplying oil to the cloth as needed. Continue this until the wood stops absorbing the oil. When the wood stops absorbing the oil, it will lose its shine and look dull. Let the wood rest for 20 minutes. After this break, the wood will be able to absorb more oil. Set an alarm or reminder to keep track of the time. Apply a second coat of oil. After 20 minutes, apply more oil to the surface of the wood. Apply a thinner coat this time, as less oil will be absorbed into the wood than the first time. Stop applying the oil when the wood stops absorbing it. Let the wood sit, then wipe it down. Let the wood rest for another 20 minutes. Using a clean, lint-free cloth, wipe away excess oil from the surface of the wood. Let it sit for an hour, then wipe the surface again with a clean cloth. Air dry the wood. Dry the wood. Let your wood dry in a warm room for a full 48 hours before touching it. Moving it too soon is likely to cause marks or disrupt the drying process of the oil. Keep the object out of direct sunlight, which can affect the finish. Creating a very smooth finish with Danish oil, apply oil to the wood and keep it wet. After sanding, apply Danish oil to your sanded wood surface with a brush or clean cloth. Re-wet any part of the wood surface that become dull because the oil is being absorbed. Keep the surface wet for 3 to 4 minutes, reapplying the oil as needed. Wipe off excess oil and let the wood dry. Make sure that no oil is pooled or clustered in corners of the wood. Allow it to dry overnight in a warm room. Apply a second coat of oil and sand it. The next day, apply a second coat of oil to the wood with a clean cloth or brush, 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 or brush. While the oil is still wet, use very fine sandpaper to sand the surface. Use long, light strokes and move in the direction of the grain. For best results, use 600 grit wet/dry sandpaper, available at hardware stores. Remove excess oil and dry the wood. Be sure that all sanding debris is also removed from the wood surface. Once again, leave the wood to dry overnight in a warm room. Repeat the process a third time. The next day, repeat the process of applying oil and sanding the wet wood. Wipe off the excess oil and debris. Let the wood sit overnight to dry. Repeat the process if needed. As a general rule, 3 days is enough to achieve a smooth finish with Danish oil. If you feel that your wood could be smoother, repeat the process for a 4th day. Continue the process for as many full days as needed to achieve the finish you want. Let the wood dry for 24 hours in a warm, dry room. Given the multiple, deep penetrating layers of Danish oil applied using this method, your wood will require more drying time than lighter applications. If you notice any debris or particles on the wood while it is drying, do not remove them until the 24-hour drying period is completed.